Okay, I need to put it in public, and we should be online soon. Okay. So let's check on the mobile phone. If we see a notification, we should be online. Do I see it? It's public. We should be online. Do you see something on your mobile phone, guys? Or not yet?
Not yet at the moment.
Checking. Okay, I see it now. Yeah, now should be fine. Okay, we will wait until... Yeah, the live is online. I will wait a couple of minutes for the people joining us. So for the people who are joining on the replay, first of all, because most of the viewers are often on the replay, they don't like to be there live, but I think it's a great occasion for me to welcome on the channel two players from Team Italy this year. We have with us Manfro and Gianluca. Welcome, guys.
Hello, and thank you for the opportunity for the live.
Yeah, really happy to. I think to break the ice, if I'm not mistaken, Manfro, you are the only one, or maybe one of the only players who took part to every edition of ETC. Is that right?
Almost. Let's say
Almost.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, in Italy we hadn't the chance to join for 2022 because of the COVID restrictions. So yeah, I played all the ETC since 2006, but unfortunately 2021 we no one played, and 2022 for the COVID restriction.
Okay, that's why. Okay, but apart from that, yeah, you were that since the beginning.
Yeah, yeah, from the first year in Poland, Gordov.
Okay, interesting. And you, Gianluca, since how long have you been attending to ETCs?
I got a month or so. I joined ETC in 2011, if I remember well. Maybe the first one in Novi Sad, and then I made 5 ETC as in Italy team. Last year, I joined the Ukraine team as a Jolly, and this year I was the coach, one of the coach in the team.
Okay. Can you maybe tell us how was it organized for the team? Why did you Why did you join as a coach? Was it a decision regarding armies, or how did you ended up as coach? Was it your personal decision? Like you hadn't enough opportunity to play this year? What was the decision behind that?
The decision is part coming from me and part coming from the captains that made the team. In the last year, I was not able to spend so much time playing, so I tried to do my best. So I prepared the local tournament, but when we have to make so important tournament, and we have to have the more prepared the players. So if you have to choose only 8, you have to choose more prepared and more trained. So I was available as coach, and they select me as coach.
Okay, excellent. Manfro, can you explain us a bit about ETC selection? How does that work? We have Gianluca just mentioned a captain. Is it just one captain? How is it elected? Is it multiple people at like organizing the team? How does that work?
Okay, so in Italy, it's like since 5 or 6 years that we have a captain. I'm the captain since that amount of time, and I have two other guys that help me organizing the team, organizing the boot camps, and to choose the 8 guys plus the coaches. Every year at the end of the ETC, we have um, questionnaire amongst the guys that is in the team to see if we have something to improve, we have something to change. I ask advice and suggestions from the other guys. At the moment, the coach and the other 2 guys, so me and Lorenzo and Alberto, had no any kind of problem from the other guys, so we are the same leaders for 2024.
Yeah.
Every year we have this kind of let's say questionnaire to check if the team is okay with the captain and his way to manage the things.
Okay. Was the topic of having a qualification like there is in France or Spain, for example, was it something even considered at some point in Italy? Or
yeah,
not?
we started with the trials.
Yeah.
That was the tournament that decided the team Italy.
Yeah.
All the years, but the first one, because in 2006 we just gathered 8 guys and went in Poland to play. I think that it's the first time that an Italian team joined an international tournament. We had no experience at all for that kind of events. We reached the 3rd position, if I well remember. And from the 2007, we organized this big tournament, 8 guys tournament, to decide the team that will had to represent the Italian team. And this tournament was played since Gianlu, do you remember the year? Maybe
2012.
Yeah, it was a tournament in Poland.
2011 maybe. Yeah. Maybe
in
until
Poland.
2000.
Since that year, we decided not to organize trials anymore.
Okay.
Because we think that is not the best way to select the team. We are at the moment a great and polite, humble community in Italy.
Yep.
We have no, let's say, deployments, the factions amongst the community. We are very united, so
Yep.
we have no problem to decide the captain, to decide the 20 guys that join the Italian team. I think that this is the best way to select it.
Yeah, I think I can definitely recognize that, because when I saw like the reaction and the way the coaches were integrated in the team, I think seeing you, Gianluca, and the other coach, I don't remember the name, but you were Dario, really involved and part of the team and engaged and really into it, and also happy to be here as coach. And I think I never saw it so obvious like it was in your case. And I think it's also a great sign that the team is really united together and there is no bad feeling, for example, of a coach only like, let's say that way, but only being a coach. It can be sometimes frustrating for people that have not been selected and can only join as coach, but we didn't recognize that at all in your team. I think we saw all of you together and everybody playing his role. And that was really also for me a great sign of unity and seeing like it's a healthy community and a very good team spirit.
Yeah, this was my first ETC as coach, to be honest, and I really enjoyed because when you play, you have a different stress, different angry. So when you play as coach, it's different. So you can see the matches from behind. So you can approach them. Like you can give not suggestion in terms of movement or in terms of action, but in terms of approach.
Yeah.
So you can. So you are in part a player, in part a person that have to be like a doctor. You have to keep calm and help the guys to have the right mental approach. So it was very very interesting and I really enjoyed. Yeah,
and
it's
surely also quite
not
exhausting to have to. I always heard from our coaches that you have like the emotions of the 8 tables all combined together, and you're like having those feeling and stressful moments from all the tables that you have to manage, and it's not so easy.
No, but I think that it's important being two because only one can have some problem also to see what happens in all tables. 2 person is a good number to also to have the chance to have a look all tables, even to make easy communication. So, for example, if you want something, I have to go to the bathroom. Can you please stay
Yeah.
there to just to speed up the game? So can be
Indeed.
some in some cases it's quite easy. So you just need someone. In other cases, you also need as a person because you have to say the right whisper, the right suggestion, also in terms of human approach.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I also think that 2 is a great number. One coach is a bit is not enough sometimes. You also have to manage the result, new recruit, and so on. The communication with the judges. There are a lot of things to do. But maybe before we deep dive into the topic during ETC, role of the coach, and so on, I would like to go back to the topic like selection of the team. Manfro, you told us so the captain. So I think if I understand correctly, it's like the captain and your 2 advisors or co-captain that help you to select the team, the final 8 guys. What was it based on? Was it based on result? Was it based on also did armies or meta play a role in who you wanted to select, or was it purely based on players? Like that's the 8 people that played and performed the best during the year.
Let's say a bit of all the things that you mentioned. So the selection go through several boot camps during the year. Let's say one every 1.5 month or 2 months. We take in consideration the tournament result.
Yep.
But I think that is the less important.
Okay.
The first thing that I keep in consideration is the boot camps, because I can stop my games a moment and follow the guys that I need to follow. Just check their match and see what they do at the table. It's not always easy because I have to train myself as well.
Yeah,
So,
indeed.
it's not easy to check the other matches when you have to play yours. Of course, we put attention on the armies that the player usually play, and the play style, of course, because you can play Orc and Goblin, and let's say that you can play Vermis War, for example, pretty similar. I don't know the new book. I never played against them, so maybe the things changed a bit. But we have several play style in the armies, so we put a lot of attention on it, and of course we take a point also on the human problematic that can be human problems that can be between players. Honestly, we have none of them since a lot of years. I'm proud to tell you, but it's all those things that allow us to choose the 8.
And I think we can talk maybe very briefly on that, but I think if I compare now the Italian team to when I started ETC, I joined ETC for the first time in 2016, and I know over the year like 13, 15, 16, the Italian team I think was not the same, didn't have the same kind of reputation, if I can say, as now regarding like the players and mentality. And I think there are clearly had some kind of evolution. If I hear about the most experienced player, what during the year, how did it evolve for you? Can you talk maybe quickly about that? Did you change something in the approach, or it's just a natural change of players? Did something happen? Did you decide to do something strong, like maybe this year did a little bit in Poland, for example?
Yeah. Things changed a lot during the years. For the first years, I can tell you, we had some problematic players. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Not all the guys was really correct at the table. Some of the guys just dropped the Warhammer Fantasy Battles and the Ninth Age, but is a thing that I try to consider a lot. I talk with each player, with every player in my selection, and I don't want to have cheaters nor problematic ones,
Mm-hmm.
because I think that the reputation of the team is really important, not only for the results, but also for the environment of the hobby, because this is an hobby after all. So
Indeed, yeah.
we are not paid to play Ninth Age. We just spend a lot of money, honestly. So
Indeed.
I want to enjoy myself. I want to create a good environment around me.
Yeah.
I want to join the ETC event, and I'm happy to see people that I see just during 3-4 days during each year.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm happy that the Team Italy reputation now is pretty good. Is good. I think is very good.
I think I think the applause that you receive at the half day on the last day, I think says all about it. How the people felt about your team, and if you had a bad reputation, I think you wouldn't have had such a reception.
Yeah. That was the best moment at ETC.
Yeah, it was amazing.
If I can say it.
Yeah.
Even better than the cup and the standings at the final, the tournament, the reward ceremony. The lunch room was far better during the Sunday.
I felt it was a mix of a lot of feelings. It was also for me kind of the feeling of if you compare it to last year, how it went for the winner and the drama that happened and so on, to have this year like proper winners that were the best and were recognized by everybody to be the best. It was also for me the contrast to last year, like, okay, finally we have like a clear winner this year, no drama, and nice guys that we enjoy to play against. It was also all of that for me, a mix between the reputation of your team, how you win, and about also the drama of last year.
Yeah. Our sensation was so fucking I have no words, honestly. I have no words. As said, it was the best part of the tournament was that one, and it's the first thing that when I talk with the guys here in my Warhammer club, it's the first time that I talk about.
Yeah, it was amazing. And also at the end, when we took the picture, if you remember, like everybody screaming like Italy, Italy.
Yeah,
that's amazing. Yeah. I mean, that's the first time that I experienced that. So it was like everybody unite around the people that won ETC. It was really amazing.
Yeah, no discussion of any kind.
Exactly.
During all the tournament.
Exactly.
Was good for all the tournament, for all the hobby. We had
indeed
zero discussion, just some funny parts from maybe Furion from for the YouTube video. But was funny.
I think it gave maybe some extra.
Problematic.
It gave some extra motivation to some of the teams, maybe.
yeah, especially because we was not on the.
You were not on video. Okay.
No. Italy was not mentioned in the Furion video.
Yeah, that says something.
Maybe
helped.
A lot.
Yeah, it was funny. I was sure, when I saw the video, I found it very funny, but I was sure that it was going to bite him back. And that's exactly what happened, all the team that were like, it was funny.
I created 4 or 5 memes that I sent to the Polish guys, to Thomas in Germany, and some of your community to Philippe Grebak.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
really, really funny.
We inside Team Switzerland, I can say we love you, memes. I know that you have great potential for that.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. It's a lot of years of training.
I get that.
Consider that some players in our team are dedicated only for me.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
kind of understand
I
that
have
during and after DC. Yeah.
plenty of stickers, plenty of memes.
Amazing, guys. Let me come back to one of the point that we mentioned quickly about the meta choice of army. What was the view that you had for this year? We recognize something when I tried to analyze your success and a bit the list and so on. What I found out, something that stood a bit clear, was the fact you had a lot of like solid unit. Like almost each of your list or most of the list had 1-2 big blocks or very solid block. Thinking about, for example, the demon, it's a very special list with this kind of Death Star that nobody played. Things like that. Was it something you tried to be really strong on some secondary objective? You had, I think, also some very specialist. Was it also something key for you to try to develop this new list or this special list that people are not so used to playing against, and that can be also key at ETC? Was it this kind of factor that play in your mind to prepare your meta for ETC?
Yeah, you mentioned the demon list. The guy that play demon is a really good player. He's second ATC.
Yeah.
Last year, he played demon as well, but he played let's say more aggressive roster.
Standard list, yeah. Also,
Yeah.
last year his list was particular, but was not so in the meta as was this one.
I was pretty happy with this setup.
But was it him
Sure
that proposed the list? Was it his idea? And okay, it's more ideas of the players that you put together than in a meta that you saying like we want to be strong on all the ground, spoil of war and so on. It's more like the idea of the player, if I understand you correctly.
I think that all the list, all 8 lists started from the players. So we try to improve, to suggest some adjustment, but at the end the final decision is on the player, because if the player is not confident with this kind of approach, this kind of list in his style to play, I don't think that is useful.
Yeah, we give some advice, and we give them some kind of information. For example, your army maybe will be the first or the second defender.
Yeah.
So you have to set up hits to play a lot of matches. We usually choose a couple of defenders and a couple of attackers. Let's say specialized army that can play against the usual defender.
Okay.
The other 4 are just we call them mid-range rosters that can play almost every kind of matches. Maybe this year we add 2 defenders and 6 or 5 at least mid-range.
Yeah.
So we try to score 14, 15 points each match instead of choose maybe one army just to place the 20-0.
Yeah.
We prefer the more solid approach.
So it means also that during the pairing process there was no player that had more like advantage, that you really try to play somebody?
In the pairings, the first objective is avoid extremely negative match.
Yeah.
So we, as first result, we want to avoid a very bad match that can be wipe out suffered for the team. This is the first objective. Then, considering also the metrics, we try to put some games that are good for us if it's possible, on the players that we know that are also solid in the make points, because we have just one spot to make points. So it's like a combination. So we have to be ready to adjust the strategy during pairing, looking at the metrics. Because, for example, there were some army that have very good pairings, so we can use them to also to combine better pairings also in the other team, in the other armies, and this allow us to avoid very bad matches, so more or less.
Okay. And did you?
And we, if you can add something, we try to bring not so common roster at ETC.
Yeah.
For example, you mentioned Demon, but also my Chaos was
indeed
unusual, let's say. Pretty usually in Italy, because Double Herald is not common in the world, but pretty common in Italy. And a lot of people had no idea how to set that game, in my opinion, because 5 on 6 players asked me if I can make a unit with Double
the
Herald.
two
So,
that
so
says a lot.
It means that you never played against
Indeed,
it. And a lot of players was prepared to face my army like a combat army, but is not totally. I maybe had 2 or 3 big combat during all the tournament. The rest of the matches was just score some points, score objectives, and no risk big points. So I won matches 13 to 16, 17. Was enough. If all the guys do this work. So
I think like you say, it's a lot about risk management, etc. I mean, if the additional risk to move to a 17 to a 20 is huge, there is no point in doing it. I think the risk management over the 8 table is really key. Something I wanted to ask you about regarding the meta, did you analyze like what was happening in the other countries, like the big tournaments like WTC and so on? Did you analyze it to like say we want to counter that this way, we want to bring that out? Or did that play less of a role in comparison to like following the choices of the players, like you mentioned before?
Yeah, we try to analyze the roster mainly. We try to figure how the roster work on the table. Sometimes we try to play some matches. For example, I play my army, you play the Polish army during all the year, not just before after the roster submission of the ETC. But it's just a partial. It's not so important, let's say. We try to analyze, but we don't focus just on it.
Okay, but like the worst offender, for example, this year, I mean, KOE was expected to be strong at ETC level. Did you think about it for building a meta, like thinking, okay, against KOE we want to have at least 3 good counters?
The KOE is hot topic in Italy because we have Francesco that have a lot of huge score at the ETC, but during the boot camp he almost lost every of his match. So it's not easy for us to see if the QE are good enough. Or every year is the same.
Every year is the same. Yeah.
It's just for KOE for at least, but we just Francesco, just play KOE, just try to understand your setup, the stuff of your list, and bring it.
And then it works well at ETC, so it's fine.
we was aware that the KOE was a great army this year. We had some alchemy mages amongst our army to face it. I think that we had a lot of tools to counter it. For example, also my chaos was pretty decent against it. I had no chance to play against, but I think that was pretty a drawish or 8-12 match, depending from the secondary. So.
And regarding maybe the topic of preparation, you mentioned boot camps. Can you talk more about it? It's like how many boot camps, how many games on average plays an Italian player this year? It's like 1 a week, 2 a week, three a weeks. How many tournaments to just have a feeling about how much did you play before ETC?
Okay. This year we started with our boot camps on February because we had the rules update on.
Yeah, it was
on
quite
December.
late.
Yeah. So we had Gianluca help me three boot camps from February.
2 times in Pesaro and 1 time in Prato.
Yeah, a small one in Prato and 2 in Pesaro. During the bootcamp, we play just casual games or a focused one, or we have an 8 versus 8 match. So we try to pair, we try to prepare the team also for, let's say, an ETC match.
Yeah.
Rules that you should have in the roster.
Yeah. We play every bootcamp. We start on early morning and we finished late night.
Okay, it's like 2 days, a weekend.
Yeah, a weekend. Sometimes we start even the Friday evening, depending from work. But yeah, Saturday and Sunday, full day. We usually finish at the first hour of the afternoon. On Sunday. Some of the guys play some match online, but it's not so common here. We have almost half of the team that don't play nor Universal Battle, no World.
Yeah.
And the frequency of the games depends mainly from the club. For example, I play a lot of games against Alberto. That's the guy that played ILFs. Yeah, he lives 15 kilometers from my home, so it's pretty easy for us to play each other. We have a big community in Milan where Gianluca lives. And for example, Simone Cucuzza plays something like 3 or 4 games each week, for all the year.
Yeah, even visited us for a tournament in Switzerland. He came to one of our tournaments.
Yeah,
I think it was in France actually. Yeah.
We have other guys that play maybe 1 game every 2 or 3 weeks. So we have the different frequencies of the games. Yeah.
And did you set I would be also interested to understand, before ETC, was it the target for you to say, like, we are ready to win it again? Or what was the objective before ETC? We're like, we want to do the best we can, or we want to be at least on the podium, compete for the podium. Also, since you did the podium last year, was it clear for you that you could compete for the win? Or did you felt, we will see maybe still some strong team above us? What was the feeling? Did you realize that you could win it before?
No. Honestly,
interesting.
No. So, not in this way. No. Not in this way. We had the chance. We had the chance to compete for the first 3 position. But I was not so confident that we had the real potential to win the tournament as we did.
Yeah.
Honestly, Gianluca, correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I'm agree with you. We have also to say that last year we made the third, and we lost 1 player a few days before the ETC. So who replaced it was not so prepared for this particular list. So we made a third place, considering this big fault. So this year, I think that we are prepared to make the same result, even better. But as Manfro said, we cannot we cannot prepare to do this big win.
Yeah, and honestly, we didn't work harder than 2022.
Okay.
So our work for the 2023 was pretty the same as the last one. So yeah, I expected
Very interesting. Yeah.
A good result. But if 1 week before the ETC, one of the guy came to me and just you will win easily the ETC, I said it's not possible.
Yeah.
At the beginning of this ETC, I think that when we saw the list, we understood that our pool was stronger, was solid. Yeah.
And did
but
you?
Then
we had a good feeling after the roster submission.
Okay.
We had a good feeling. Yeah.
Okay, I get that. And because I when I talk with the French and I think also people from Belgium, various countries, and also I think that was also our feeling in Switzerland, at least speaking for myself, that we felt that towards the top before the tournament, our feeling was it's getting closer between the Spain, Poland, you, France, and so on. We had a feeling in comparison to like 2-3 years ago, or maybe yet at least 2 years ago, it's getting closer towards the top. We had this feeling there could be an opportunity for some of the team that is chasing the pack, the leading pack. There could be an opportunity to win it. It could be closer than the years before. Did you have a similar feeling, like maybe this year there could be an opportunity?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that the preparation of maybe 6 or 7 teams was good enough to compete for the victory.
Yeah.
For example, we was scared from Switzerland, for example. Your team grew a lot during the years, the last years. The same for Germany, for example, for Poland, for Spain.
Yeah.
This year we learned that also Norway is a pretty good team.
Indeed, yeah.
We was not aware of it, but yeah, they did great. Third position this year was a surprise.
Yeah.
And yeah, we are. I hope that next year. Also Danish. I was forgetting about that.
Yeah, indeed.
The Denmark did a great tournament. So next year we will have. I hope I am very close tournament with a lot of teams that can bring first or second or third place at home.
I also have the feeling that some
result. Yeah, looking at the result of the ETC, you can see that there are many teams that are almost on some level.
Yeah.
Yeah, Team A that win against Team B that win against loss against C, and C that win against us. So it's it's not so easy to make predictions before the match.
I also have the feeling that somehow we mentioned at the beginning the video of Furion, but I think it's also some interesting factor to say. Somehow I have the feeling that Italy was maybe underestimated by some nations. I feel I can speak about myself, but I felt that for preparation we prepared more against Poland, Spain than we did against you. And I think that's maybe something that some other teams also felt, that like they didn't expect maybe Italy to be so strong. And I have the feeling that could be also a factor in your success. Did you also feel that, or is it something that you've talked about with maybe some other nations? I don't know.
We talked a lot of about the Furion video, for example.
Everybody did.
Yeah, and we was pretty sad that Italy was not amongst the teams that Germany had batted on in the sea. Yeah, I personally had the same feeling that a lot of teams underestimated us. Maybe, yeah, last year we reached the third position, but before the COVID, we had no so great results. We waited a lot for 2023 and 2022, honestly. We was angry. We was waiting some result, just to be sure that our path, our decisions was good, was the right way to do the things, and also because the team, I think, deserved the result that we had this year and the last year.
Definitely, yeah.
Well, I think that one of the reasons why we are underestimated was because we are not so frequently join the international tournament. So probably people, the other country, are not able to evaluate our level of gaming.
Yeah, good
Maybe
point.
This is one of the reasons.
Yeah, definitely. Good point. Also, we can mention that during the past year, I think you joined the Luxembourg tournament. I remember at least a great performance from Alberto, the Ibon Elf player that did amazing at Luxembourg. He beat heavily everybody. So I remember that at least I heard some big noises from Luxembourg, that the Italian team was really strong there and beat everybody strongly. But I see what you mean, Gianluca, yeah? Especially if we think about WTC, this kind of tournament, and also the online tournament make a lot of noise. So if you are not there, it will be less spoken about you, yeah. Okay, what would be interest me next would be what was a little bit the feeling towards the round we're moving up. Maybe we can talk about that with you, Gianluca. What was the feeling like at the end of day 1, round 3, round 4, like growing, you know, like a cap after another? Maybe you didn't start with the strongest team, but like seeing the success continuing, how did it grow in your mind? Like, what was the feeling a bit, maybe first about the end of day 1 and then during day 2? How did that evolve in your mind? Like, we can win it. We are on top and we are going to stay on top until the end.
Yeah. After day 1, we know that we made our job, but at the end we have to meet also the favorite teams of the tournament. So we are satisfied, but we also have to be focused because the big part of the tournament have to come. So after the day 2, we meet the US and Switzerland, and we made 2 big win to cap. Then we realized that okay, if we were able to cap US and Switzerland, we will be able to win the tournament. So then you realize that it's in your hand.
Yep.
You have to approach the last day where you play Poland and probably Spain in the right way in order to try to win. Because in the past we had similar approach, a similar situation where at the end of day 2 we were almost champions, and then at the end of the tournament we were over the podium. So we know that it was in our hand, but we have to be very focused, very very strong also in the mind, because we have to be extremely focused on the game, on matches, and made the right choices also from beginning to the end.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, like you say, it's a long tournament. How? What about you, Manfro? How did it evolve in your mind? Like the confidence growing and
yeah, after the second match of Saturday, honestly.
Okay.
I realized that we had the chance to compete for the victory.
Yeah.
Because as you and Gianluca said, we had the first 3 matches that was not easy. I honestly don't want to say that was easy, but we didn't play against the bigs, let's say. When we beat you, Switzerland, and I was in my mind, I said, yeah, we can compete. So we was, I said, we was scared about your preparation, about of your lists.
Yeah.
After the big win, I said maybe this year could be the year.
Yeah, especially in that way. I think a lot of people looked at this round 4 I heard a lot of talking, a lot of people talking also to me before the round, like now is the moment. Italy, we will see what they are made of and so on, like expecting to see about this one, also about us, because we performed quite well until that round. And they were also seeing like maybe it was like who can do it, like if the Italian win big they will be the favorite, if it's you then maybe you are strong candidate this year. It was a round that a lot of people were looking at, and yeah, looking forward to see what happened. And I think your result, like you said, I mean at the end of day 2 it was like some people were like shocked by the result, like wow, Cap Switzerland, I mean now they're a lot of points in advance before the last day, meaning like you said before, Gianluca, you can also manage this advantage, and that was definitely an advantage for you when you were facing team like Poland, Spain with a lot of points in advantage. They have to take more risk, and we know in this game it's not so good to be in the position to have to take a lot of risk.
Especially when you have the roster that we
indeed
had.
Yeah, we felt the roster was really good, especially against us. We felt that really strong because also on the secondary that we played, we felt that you were so better than us on all the ground and just on the pairing process. So yeah, we had a clear feeling about that, and yeah, I think was a really the turning point for me at the end of day 2. Everybody saw like, okay, now Italy are clear favorite, and we'll see about the last day, but the people started to see you as the future winners. And
yeah,
what about the game 5?
The moment was that one.
Because I think the game 5 was an amazing round for you. What happened? How did you manage to make the difference, to win it already after this 5th game? Did you take some risk at some point? Was it more the opponent taking risk and you were able to take advantage from it? How did that evolve in the way that he did?
I can explain what happened. We approached the game 5 exactly like the others.
Okay.
So
nothing changed.
We were focused. We tried to make the good pairings, but the Poland rooster was complicated to be managed for our pool. So we had not so good metrics, and also the pairings were not so good as, for example, as you, because pairings with Switzerland were extremely good.
Mm-hmm.
Against Poland, we had some bad matches, but at the end of the pairing, we think that we can win, but a small win.
Yeah.
At the end, we have a very good win, a very big win, and so we cannot predict this at the beginning. Probably they try to make some additional points, so they keep more risks, and we gain some more points due to this.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think that Poland is starting a new cycle, so probably some of their players have to be more ready to make this kind of tournament.
Yeah, I think that's what they said, and also the fact that some of them train a bit less than they did before. It was not the best year regarding preparation, from what I understood. So yeah, I see that. And about the last round against Spain, maybe 2-3 words. Did you also approach it the same way? Was it a bit of relaxation? Did just Spain really perform well, or was it a bit relaxation for you, for the players? What can you say, Manfro, about that?
The thing that I said, my guys, was just play, as we are not already won the tournament.
Yep.
So just play your 110% for us and for the rest of the team of the tournament, because I don't wanna change the real result of it. Honestly, the approach was that one.
Mm-hmm.
But when you play the game and you already won the tournament,
you cannot take that away from your mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see what you mean.
So you don't fight during the match as you would during a normal one. We had a couple of really bad luck episodes that changed a bit the result, but it's not the dice that let the Spain win against us the last match. They did great. We tried to win also the last one, but
didn't work your way. Mm-hmm.
We want to try to avoid lose.
Yeah.
But at the end, it's not so easy. Also, in terms of motivation.
Indeed. Yeah.
You know.
Okay, you talked, Gianluca, already a bit about that, but the role of the coaches, I wanted to talk about that point because I think it's a point that the coaches is often can be underestimated, the importance and the role and what they bring to the team. I think we saw some examples that the coach can do a lot. I saw it myself. This year we brought for the first time, I guess, 2 coaches with some great input, like taking timeouts on a macro level at the beginning of some games to basically tailor-made the risk approach, what we want to do and so on, things like that. So what can you talk a bit more about the coaches during, maybe also during the battles? What were you able to influence? Was it also very dependent from one player to another, or did you have a lot of timeout where you had a key moment to choose?
Well, the coach rules depends also from players. We were estimated by players, so the players accept our decision and our suggestion when it was necessary. Because at the end, there are some players that don't need it because of prepared the match. They perfectly know how to approach. For example, Simone, the ID players that made a lot of
games.
Lot of game during the week. He never called timeout, for example.
Yep.
We call him timeout just to be informed as it was
to talk about the taste of coffee.
No, to talk about the game, but it was disturbing because he perfectly know what he need to do. So we don't need to share information. So we try to. He have all the information that need.
Yep.
In other cases, when you have some decision that can make more points or lose points. So when you're talking about 2-3 points in the matches, we have the player that called 3 minutes to know.
Yep.
If it's necessary, take some risks. So it's extremely important to have the focus, have the feeling of what is going on all tables, because probably in some cases it was not necessary to take risk, because we know that we have a good result on the other table, so you can continue to play safe and gain points. One of the good trick is the adjust the deployment after the opponent. This is a very nice solution. I think that in some cases when you are facing an RP that is extremely complicated to be attacked. For example, we made it against you when we called 3 minutes in the deployment to redo to make some changes in the deployment of the Ag Elf against Dwarf, because we were scared about this game because the Dwarf's list was extremely solid. So we prefer to give up the objective and save points. And so we prefer to have the safest approach. Not so often, no, because before, before the matches, we have a few briefing, very small briefing about what is the kind of approach that we expect in the game. So, in many cases, was not necessary made some adjustment in the deployment. But in this particular cases, we was scared about this kind of approach, this kind of also because there were minors, so can be complicated. So we prefer to call it the timeout and redo the deployment. Oh, I have some noises in the
microphone, maybe Matt.
Yeah.
Is it better now?
Totally.
Okay, sorry guys. I was asking, do you go through all the pairing and all the matches before, just after the pairing, before the people start playing? Do you go through the 8 matches and you say like, I expect that from this game, you should play it that way? Do you go through all the matches, or there are like cases like you mentioned, Simone, you know what to do, so we don't need to talk about this matchup after the pairing?
But we prepare the metrics for all games.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
When we make the pairings, we know what is the expectation of the game, and also knowing the list, the approach of the list, how the list made points. We know what will be the approach of the Italian player in that game. So we don't need to
talk too much after the pairing.
Time. Yeah. Maybe just some clarification about some players. They need some player holds some clarification to know what have to be the rules. So they say, okay, I have to attack, I have to defend, what I have to do.
Yeah.
So just some clarification depending from the pairings was gone. If pairing was good, we don't need to take more risk. If pairing goes bad, probably we have to take some risk in a few tables where this is safest.
Okay, I see.
This is possible because it's not always possible to change the push of your army at the
indeed,
turn 3 or 4. So
I see what you mean. If we would sum up a bit the discussion, what would be how would you sum up the keys to your success? I would say what I recognize maybe until now, and then you can complete or correct me if I'm wrong. I would say the meta, the army that you picked, the tailor-made list, this special meta that was very, very, very good this year, just very good against the strong team especially. I would say that's one aspect. Then definitely the team spirit. I mean, the 8 guys plus the coaches, this whole spirit around you. I mean, it was something very special to see from outside. I think that would be for me the 2 main factors of your success. Would you agree with that? And what would you complete it with?
Yeah, I personally agree 100% with your analysis. And I add that it's not just the 8 plus the 2 coaches, but all the Italian community and the 20 guys that fight, let's say, for the room in the team for the 8 guys. We really act as a team. We have no any kind of problem, just small ones, maybe one guy that is not so a good spirit, a good behavior against another, but just few things and not important. So I really like the spirit amongst the team, amongst the players. This is one of the main factor for me, even for the 8 guys, for the choice of the 8 guys.
That was something. And you mentioned this group of 20 players. Are the other players that are not selected, are they still taking part to the preparation, giving advice, helping developing the list, and so on until the end?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, we have several WhatsApp groups or Discord groups where we talk about rosters and armies. We have 4 or 5 guys that works on them and give advices or suggestions to the official army player. Every guy works for 3 or 4 armies.
Yeah.
So yeah, we all work for the team. All 20 guys works for the team. Yeah.
That's awesome. When I think we didn't talk about it, but when did you decide for the ETC team for this year?
This is one of the main topics.
Okay.
A couple of weeks ago, we had a live discussion here in Discord with 15 of the guys that are in the team. And one of the problems is to communicate with the guys as soon as possible, the 8.
Yeah.
The perfect moment could be around of April or March, but nearly impossible for us to choose the 8+2 in that period.
This
June,
year, how did you do it? When did you decide?
June.
June. Okay, that's really late. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We had 6 guys that was 100% sure,
Yeah.
and we had the other 2 guys that other 2 slots of the team that
Okay,
was
you
more
just
problematic.
needed more time and more tests to be sure about the choice of the 8. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. We had a big tournament during that period, and we
Yeah.
talked. Is a good moment to talk with the guys to check if they still
Mm-hmm.
play, if they are okay, their personal business are okay with the tournament, with the training and stuff like this.
Okay. Excellent. Guys, I think that's all for me. I have no more topics to cover. Do you have anything you want to add, either to the community or some message you want to pass? We're on YouTube, so you can use it as a platform to communicate if you want to.
I think that we touched every aspect of our preparation, and the thing that I mean they are important for me. Just focus on the community a lot, because it's from the community that you will have future players for your team.
Indeed. Yeah.
Um, I and Gianluca, correct me if I'm wrong, don't want to take 100% of the decision. Even if I'm the captain, I could just decide by myself without asking others, but it's not the way I want to manage the team. Just keep some guys that can help you,
Mm-hmm.
can help you also to be objective in the selection, because it's not always easy. I try to avoid to choose people because of personal motivations, for
Mm-hmm.
example. That's why we choosing 3 guys. As said, I play a lot of matches against Alberto, and I don't want to make the error to choose him just because he's my friend
Yeah.
instead of another one, for example. Uh, this is an aspect that I consider a lot when I choose the 8.
And I think that's also why most of the team have like 3, 4 players that are organizing and picking the team at the end. To also have this kind of decision-making process that is just more efficient than only one guy on the top, one king choosing everything.
Yeah, the community must be mature enough, let's say,
Mm-hmm.
to have a person, a super partners captain.
Yeah.
Let's say I try to be as much objective as I can. It's not always easy.
Maybe then one last topic that came to my mind. If I'm a new player in Italy, how do I get recognized if I'm like good at the game? Is it easy to get invited to the boot camps, integrate the group? Somebody performing just well in a tournament will get a call from you, or how does that work?
Yeah, yeah. All the 20 guys. Honestly, we are 28 at the moment
Mm-hmm.
in our WhatsApp group that works for the team. Just can always come to me and say, yeah, I have this guy that's pretty good on the evening in the evening matches, or in this or other tournament. Just take a look at him,
Yeah.
keep an eye on him. Every year we have 1 or 2 guys that join the tournament. For example, Dario, the other
Yeah.
coach, joined the team during this year after the 2022
Okay.
ETC. So the guy is pretty new,
Yeah.
but is a an old player. So we all knew him even before the ATC.
Okay.
So
Yeah, he felt like well integrated to the team, judging on the amount of jokes that he was telling during ETC.
yeah. Our team is have a lot of jokes.
Yeah, that's good. But I think that's
I think it's really important just to have that
indeed,
kind of moments.
definitely, yeah. And I think that what we liked about this year ETC, I mean, it was great atmosphere. If I looked the round we play against you, the round against Poland, and so on, it was like competitive but very enjoyable, good moments. I mean, moment of fun as well, and so on. And I think that's what our game is about. It's not only winning; it's also about human experience, exchanging with each other, having a good time. And I think that was a lot about that this year, and that's what I like about our game as well.
Yeah, same for me. Same for me.
Okay, guys.
Poland, we were interviewed by the other captains, so it was a moment where we joked and also that we discussed about Warhammer. So it was also fun and interesting.
Okay, cool. Guys, I think that's all for me. Thanks a lot for your time. I think it was an interesting discussion that the people in the 9th Age scene will enjoy to watch as a replay as well. So thanks a lot for taking the time to debrief with us and share with us some of the keys to your success. We will try to inspire ourselves from your success. I think you were a great example that you can achieve great things with the right mentality, right preparation, and taking some choices on the roster and players at some point. And I mean, even without being online on Warhol and so on, taking part to the big tournament, you can still achieve an ETC win. So I think that was also for me a great sign that you can do a lot just within the community yourself, developing in a group that is healthy and just going forward year after year. So I wish you personally good luck for the upcoming year. Looking forward to meet you again at next ETC. Will be a pleasure to see you again, and I think this year you will be less underestimated and you need to prepare maybe even more.
Yeah, I hope the mindset will change a bit, or maybe it's better for us that the mindset will remain the same. Just Italy, it's a mid-ranking team. It was a pleasure to be here with you, Matt.
Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks a lot for watching, to all the viewers. I think we can stop here. So if you have any question for the people watching also in replay, don't hesitate to put it in the chat. If I cannot answer myself, I will be happy to follow it to Manfro and Gianluca if needed. So let me cut the stream here. Wish you good evening, everybody.